All right, so today I'm going to make a video going over my top REITs right now. Getting right into it, I own 6 REITs at the moment, and I'm going to narrow it down to my top 3, and I'll give my reasoning for giving my top 3. Now, I do like every single one of these for obviously for different reasons. They're all a little bit different, which is why I like them. So again, the first one here, which again, the first 3 will not be my top 3. I'll kind of the bottom 3 and the top 3. This is FR, First Industrial REIT, sorry. Again, an industrial REIT, pretty standard. It looks good. It's got not a crazy good dividend, only 2.4%, but they're growing it nicely, right? 8% a year. The growth is nice. The financial health is really nice. Profitability is nice. They have, over the long run, they have outperformed the S&P, which I like. They've only been around since 2016, but they have outperformed the S&P in that time by a decent amount. Another important thing you're going to want to look at for REITs is the financial health right now, because with rates going up, that's going to be an issue for them having to refinance stuff, all that kind of stuff, right? That's going to be an important thing, especially debt, right? Debt is probably going to be the biggest one. You don't want a lot of debt because, you know, when rates are low, debt is not is bad, but when rates are getting higher, debt is going to be a big issue, right? Which is another reason why I like this one. And then the next one is EQIX. This is a data center REIT, so again, completely different space. It is a little bit expensive right now. This company has gone up a lot over the last year. I wish I could have got more recently. I mean, year to date, what is it up year to date? Let's just see, just for sake of argument, 18%, right? So I believe that's roughly what the S&P is up, but that's assuming that you're in a market cap weighted version, which is not the best way of going about it. Again, this one has grown very, very nicely. I mean, it's grossly outperformed the S&P over the long run. I mean, let's look at over the last 10 years, 322 versus 231. So again, easily outperformed the S&P. Again, only a 1.74% dividend. They're going at 8% a year. You're not buying this one because of the dividend, right? You're buying it because of the growth. I mean, growing at 8.3% a year, I'm okay with that, as long as they grow anywhere close to where they've grown recently, right? Next one is ARE. This is a kind of life science one. Again, completely different space here. You'll notice that theme when I go over this. This one, again, very nice dividend. They're only growing at 6% a year, but again, 4.2%, I'm good with that, right? And again, another company, they have not outperformed the S&P, but it's only recently that they've been hit. So again, still pretty good though, still pretty good. And I like this because of it is uncorrelated, and I think it's a very interesting area, right? I wouldn't go ham on a company like this, but I think it's an interesting area, right? That's why I own it. So again, getting into my top 3 here, Vici Properties is going to be my third one. Again, no particular order necessarily. I like this one. You're not going to get a lot of growth out of this company, or a crazy amount of growth, but the reason I'm buying, the main reason, is the nice dividend, right? Just under 5%. They're going at 19% a year. That's pretty crazy, right? And again, another company that has beat the S&P. They've only been around since 2017, but they have beat the S&P over that time, right? So I think this one's a little bit more safe as well, in that, again, this is a company that owns like casinos and stuff like that, right? And contrary to popular belief, that's an area that still does okay during downtimes, right? So that's why I own this company, right? Solid dividend. And not only that, they're actually growing fairly nice, right? I mean, let's get into the FFO here. Sorry, that will be in the income statement, I believe. Yeah, there we go. So again, very nice FFO growth right here, 129, 504, 682, 883, 896, and then 1.94. So again, crazy amount of FFO growth here, right? So that's what I like. Another thing I like about this company, again, pretty solid. Again, they do have a questionable amount of debt. That's the one thing that scares me. But again, when you see how fast they're growing, when you see how profitable they are, that leads me to think that they can manage that debt. And they are considerably below their historical pricing, which is another reason why I like it. So again, the next one here is EXR. This is Extra Space Storage. Again, a self-storage REIT. Again, notice the completely different area, right? Again, this is a company that's grown very nicely, 4.3% dividend, and they're growing at 13% a year, right? So again, you're getting a solid dividend, and you're getting a company that's growing nicely. Again, easily outperforming the S&P over the long run. The main reason that I'm buying this company, right, is the stability of the business. I mean, these are companies that do very well over the long run. Let's check out the FFO here. So again, I mean, 10 years ago, it was, or in 2014, it was 337. Now it's 1,238, right? And again, those are condensed, but just crazy amount of growth, right? 4xing the funds from operation over 9 years, right? That's 8 years even, right? That's crazy amount of growth, right? And again, do I think they're going to grow as fast as they have in the next 9 years, as much as that? Probably not, but I still think they're going to do very good. And if they can keep growing that dividend in 10 to 15%, I don't really care, right? Again, and they're significantly below their historical FFO or priced FFO, right? So again, another reason why I like that. The last one is a company I've talked a lot about before, IIPR. This company is good in a lot of ways. There really is one concern that I hear about this company is the underlying businesses are not profitable, right? And that's a good point, but you also need to keep in mind that, let's just say that a tenant does go out of business, they're already set up for a new tenant to go in, right? They don't need to retrofit or do anything else. They already have everything ready to go. And this is an area that's going to keep growing over time, right? Again, and they have very little debt, right? Very little debt. So I'm not overly concerned with that. Again, you're getting a 10% dividend right now. The price to FFO is very cheap, of 8.6, right? So I think that this company was expensive at its peak, but I think it is cheap where it's at right now. I think that this is probably worth $120 a share, in my opinion, right? I mean, the 52-week high, 125, probably a little below that is fair value, right? You got a 9.7% dividend on cost right now, and they're growing it very nice, right? And they're growing it very nice over time, right? So I think that's going to keep happening. And again, this is another company that's just destroyed the S&P, 405% over the last 7 or 8 years compared to 112 for the S&P, right? So I think that's gonna keep happening. They're not going to beat it by 3x or 4x, but I think they could beat it by 50, 100%. I really do, right? So again, those are my top REITs for the next 10, 20 years. I'd love to hear feedback, comments. What do you think, right? So let me know in the comments, and stay tuned for more.